a holistic path. She creates a safe, supportive space where clients reconnect with their inner power, shift their self concept, and design the lives that they truly deserve. She is also an accredited practitioner in applied neuroscience and brain health. In this virtual talk, Lead from Within, Rewire Your Brain for Emotional Strength, she leverages her strong foundation in neuroscience informed coaching to empower individuals to shift unhelpful patterns, build inner resilience, and unlock their leadership potential. A hearty welcome, Nithya, and over to you.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. So I'm glad to be here today. All right. So let's get started. And before that, I intend that this session is going to be beneficial for each and every one of you. Okay, so by the end of the session, you will have some brain-based tools which you can take it and apply it in your own life to reach your goals and also to stay, emotionally regulated. All right. So let's begin the session.
Nithya ji, just one request. Could you increase your volume on your speaker? So it's a little mic.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. Is that okay, Ganesh, right now?
Much better. Yes, thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you so much. All right. So let's get started now. Now, in today's session, before we begin with the Rewire framework, okay, which you're going to apply it in your personal life, we need to know why brain-based tools for mental well-being. So why is that we are going to use the brain-based tools? See, caregivers, volunteers, and recovering individuals from mental illness, definitely they would be carrying silent mental loads, right? And there will be a lot of emotional patterns, okay, but that would be disturbing you over time. So how this brain-based tools will actually help you rewire your old patterns and of course build sustainable healing, okay, on a root level. So changes that is going to happen on a neurological level with brain rewiring will actually help you. That is going to be long lasting and permanent. Okay, so you can definitely lead the life you desire. All right. So what is the rewire framework, which I am going to discuss now? Okay, before sharing my screen, I would like to inform you that this will actually help you, break free from your emotional patterns. Okay, if you're emotionally disturbed, definitely this is going to help you break free from that emotional pattern and also build mental strength. And of course, you can stay calm under pressure. Okay, so let's see how that works. And this is based on the concept of neuroplasticity. Okay, the property or the tendency of the brain to rewire. So let's say you have old programming in your brain, which is not resourceful, right? And because of that old programming, you are facing a lot of hardship or trouble, right? Or emotionally dysregulated. But by rewiring those thought patterns, by rewiring your brain, everything is possible. You can stay calm under pressure, and of course, you can reach your goals or the state which you're trying to attain. Exactly what you desire. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen and let's start the Rewire framework step by step. Okay. So once you're able to see my screen, please acknowledge. All right. Can you see my screen? All right. All right. Thank you. All right. So first step in this Rewire framework is going to be like you have to recognize the pattern. Okay, pattern is something repetitive you see on a repeated basis. That can be an emotion, right? or you might not feel comfortable. Okay, so let's say you are emotionally disturbed, okay, often. So that can be a pattern because it's happening on a repeated basis. This is also called as a neural loop. Okay, automatically it keeps coming up on and on and on. So let me give an example. You might at times feel guilty, you might feel completely exhausted, like extremely tired, and you might feel pressurized, right? Or you might feel anxious. So this can be a pattern. So why? Let's also discuss about how this happens. So when you have a pattern, what happens? The prefrontal cortex in your brain gets activated. Okay. So you will be in the automatic survival loop. Prefrontal cortex is something which is for planning, focus, right, decision making. But that gets activated and the amygdala hijacks prefrontal cortex. Like when you are in fear, when you're anxious, when that amygdala hijacks prefrontal cortex, what happens? You might not be able to think through and stay calm. Of course, you might not be able to take the right decisions as well. So first is you have to identify the pattern or the emotion. What exactly is causing the trouble? Okay, so how can we do that? So let's start. I'm going to tell you a brain-based tool. You will be noticing that recurring emotions or thoughts or feelings frequently. So start journaling. Okay, take a journal and start journaling. See, when once you identify the pattern, well and good. Until then, take a journal and start writing it out. How exactly you feel. What is that emotion which is disturbing you? Okay. Are you feeling anxious? If you're feeling anxious often, if that is your default pattern, journal it, write it down because that is kind of a self-reflection. What exactly is there in your mind, right? You're actually bringing it out. You're reflecting yourself. So that you can note it down. Okay, this is the first step. Let's move on to the next step. So now you have identified the pattern, right? And what exactly is causing the pattern? This is very important. Is that a person who made you anxious, or is that situation which has created that anxiousness? Okay, suppose, say you're angry. Did someone make you feel angry, or was that a specific situation which has caused that anger to you? So that is trigger. Trigger is a stimulus. Okay, so you have to identify the trigger. That is the next step. You have already identified the pattern. Now, what is causing that pattern? It is that trigger. A particular trigger is causing that pattern. Okay. So this engages the anterior cingulate cortex for emotional regulation and cognitive flexibility. So identifying the trigger, okay, that would engage a part of your nervous system, anterior cingulate cortex for emotional regulation. So you have to identify that trigger. So once you identify, I'm going to explain the trigger more. Okay, I'm just coming up to that point. So the brain-based tool which you're going to use here is we have to map the trigger. Okay, so who has caused the trigger, when it happened, okay, or where it happened, or somebody else causing you that trigger. It could even be a word which has triggered you. Okay. Like say, if I am angry at this moment, what has caused me angry? Or if I'm upset right now, what is really upsetting me? Okay. So that would be the trigger. Let's dive deep now. Okay. So now you know the difference between trigger and pattern, but still I would like to emphasize on that point. So trigger is nothing but a stimulus that activates the automatic pattern which is kind of repetitive, habitual way in which your brain responds. Okay, your brain will respond that way. Suppose you feel, hungry, what if you wanted to eat, what exactly is the trigger? Hunger is the trigger, right? Just in simple terms, I'm explaining. so you can relate it. So now you're going to identify the trigger. Let's map it. What triggers you? Is that a person who is triggering you? Or is it a place triggering you? Or any subject? Is it a memory? Or is it an experience? Or is it a situation? Or is it an event that is triggering you? So identify that first. Okay. And then why is that happening to you? Recognize if there is going to be any old memory or past experiences, right? Because that could be there in your brain, and that would run on loop, on and on and on. When you don't focus on something specific, that past traumatic experience or memory gets played. Okay, that is actually default mode network. It's like a playlist. When you load songs, okay, and when you start playing, you don't have to interrupt it. It goes on and on and on. It keeps on playing, right? That is it. So in that way, you have to recognize the previous experiences. You have very easy to identify that. And also how you can prepare or respond. Suppose if there is going to be a trigger which is going to disturb you, right? Once you,
लवकर घशात घरघर कर.
sorry, can I continue?
Sorry about that. Somebody went unmuted. Go
Yeah,
on, please. Thank you.
so no problem. So how are you going to prepare or respond to that trigger? Okay, so you can plan ahead to manage a situation before itself. If you know if a particular experience or a memory is causing that reaction, it's making you react, you can plan well in advance so that you don't have to face that difficult situation. Let's see how we are going to do that. Okay, so there are brain-based tools for that. I'm going to explain that now. All right. Now, this is something really very, very important. Okay. See, we have the habit of talking to ourselves on a daily basis, internally. So there are 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts which come into our mind in a day. Okay. So not that all the thoughts are positive. 90% of the thoughts would be negative. Okay. So what exactly you're talking to yourself within is what you will see in your reality. Right? And also you have a story or a narrative which you have scripted for yourself. Definitely, that story could also be based on what you believe and based on past experience. Okay. Now, because you believe that to be true about yourself, on and on and on, you're going to see the same thing in the reality. Okay. If today you say you're upset and something which is not resourceful is happening to you, and unless or otherwise you change your story and you change your inner dialogue, same thing gets repeated tomorrow and day after tomorrow. So now is the appointed time. Okay, start taking the action. Please pay attention to your thoughts. What exactly is going on in your mind? If you are going to criticize yourself, let's say, if you think that I am not good enough, I'm always tensed, I'm always angry, I am upset for no reasons, people do not understand me, if you keep telling this to yourself on a daily basis within your mind, the same thing you're going to see tomorrow, the same thing you're going to experience tomorrow. Okay. So if you are going to criticize yourself or something negative or unresourceful, like overthinking, negative thinking comes into your mind today, tomorrow you're going to face or experience the same thing. So please be very mindful of that story, what you have crafted about yourself, and the self-talk and the negative self-talk. Let me tell you one thing. If you have a positive self-talk about yourself, it's absolutely good. You know, suppose if I say, I am good enough, I am confident, tomorrow I am going to experience the same thing because now I feel that I'm confident, I feel that I'm calm. Tomorrow I would be seeing that experience in my reality. Okay. So, what you can just do is shift your tone. You don't have to criticize yourself, reframe it, reframe your inner self talk. So this can be from a negative self-talk to positive self-talk, or what exactly you're intended, what you needed, what you desire, where you want to be. Do you want to be emotionally regulated? Do you want to be confident? Do you want to be calm? So what exactly is the state which you're trying to achieve? Okay? Because your brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality, and it keeps always listening to what you're talking to yourself. This is very, very critical. Once you really flip it to what exactly you need, magic happens. I'm telling you. Please do this inner talk reframing. All right. So next we will move to, okay, now you know what is a pattern and what has triggered. Okay. And we also discussed about your inner story, the story which you have crafted for yourself, right? If it is not going to be resourceful, if that is not what you really needed, please try to identify. Be mindful. Now you know what exactly is causing the problem. Okay, interrupt that. Try to identify, interrupt it. And now you can shift it. Okay, I'm going to explain how you can shift it. And when you really feel anxious, what you can do at this point of a time, start doing breathing. Okay, like the 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold it for 7 counts, and then you can exhale it for 8 counts. You can do either this, or also you can do something called box breathing, which will reduce your stress. That is, inhale 4 counts, hold it for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, again hold it for 4 counts, and you can repeat the cycle for 5 to 6 times. You can either do 4-7-8 or 4-4-4-4, which is called box breathing. Okay. So you can do this, and immediately after repetition, few counts, you will feel relieved. Definitely 50 to 60% your stress will reduce. Okay, because your cortisol, the stress hormone level, will lessen. It gets reduced. Okay. Okay. Now it's very important. We said that you talk to yourself with something which is not resourceful, the negative self-talk. How can you reframe it? Okay. Now I think that I am not good enough. Okay. If on a constant basis, if I am going to think the same way, I'm going to attract the same experience. So what I'm going to think now, what I'm going to talk to myself is, I am good enough, I am confident, I am someone whom everybody else is looking for. I am that well deserving person. You know what happens as a result of this reframing? You feel good. You start feeling good because out of any negative situation, right, you will learn something. Definitely, there is going to be a learning. Okay, there is nothing called failure at all in life. You're going to learn, and that this is the part of evolution, right? So once you understand this and you start feeling good, obviously you are ready to take the next step. Okay, you have to feel good about yourself, which is very good. So once you have a lot of difficult experience, traumatic experience, I understand we are human beings, it's so hard, but we become great mentors, as a result of all these experiences. And it is definitely possible for us to overcome this situation and lead a positive life as well. So this cognitive reframing actually helps a lot, and it makes you feel good. And also this is going to be, if you're going to align this reframing to what exactly you desire, what exactly you need, that is what is going to happen in your reality. All right. So that is what you're going to see in your reality. All right. Let's move on. Okay. Now you know how to reframe. Okay. What you're going to do. This is very, very important. Okay. We have to rehearse it. Rehearse the new identity. Let's say now you're calm and confident. Okay, you had difficulties, you had traumatic experiences, of course you have a lot of stress piled up. Okay, because you have a lot of things which is going on for you, you have to do so many things and you're overwhelmed, right? But when you have already started applying brain based tools, okay, but what is the key? Repetition. Repetition, you have to persist in your new story. Okay, keep rehearsing your new identity. You feel that calmness, you feel that you're a confident version who is able to handle everything, right? You're able to handle everything with strength, but still you're calm. You're regulated. Your nervous system is regulated now. Okay. So this what happens, this will activate your mirror neurons and motor cortex, and your brain believes what you mentally rehearse. Brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality. So we have to take this to our advantage. If something is happening in our 3D reality, brain sees that, brain perceives it as true. Same thing, if you imagine, it doesn't have to happen. Imagine. Again, the brain perceives that to be true. So what happens if you keep on persisting and if you keep on rehearsing it? Okay, what happens? That is what you're going to see tomorrow. So tomorrow, if you want to be very successful, if you want your family members or your loved ones, to be healthy, happy, keep on rehearsing, mentally rehearsing that. I know initially you might have difficulty, but I told you, I'm telling you, persistence is the key. Keep on doing it. Mentally rehearse it on a continuous basis. If you keep on doing, I'm telling you, it's going to rewire your brain. Now you have old programming in your brain. All the old memories and experiences are hardwired. It's not something which has happened in a day or two, but right from your childhood or since few years, there has been something which is really troubling you, right? So what happens? Those things are really hardwired in your brain. So for rewiring to happen, what you have to do? Mental rehearsal or visualization. Okay. So this tool is called visualization or mental rehearsal. You have to consistently do this practice. Okay. What you can do is once you wake up in the morning, okay, or before you go to bed, your subconscious mind will be like very receptive at that point of a time. So whatever you think, whatever you visualize at that point of time, it would easily, your brain will easily imbibe. It's easily that would get programmed. Okay. That is in your alpha frequency. Brain would be operating in the alpha frequency where it would be receptive. So it's very easy to program that. So once you wake up, you don't have to hastily get up and start doing. So for few minutes, like 10 to 5 to 10 minutes at least, see where you want to be, right? So today you are in your current state. You will definitely have a goal where you want to reach your desired state. So visualize that. This is the ideal time, what I'm telling. If you couldn't do, don't be hard on yourself. That's okay. Okay. But before going to bed, definitely you can take few minutes of your time, keep your gadgets away. Okay. At least 1 hour before you go to your bed and go into deep sleep, you don't need to have your gadgets. Don't use your mobile phones. So when you are in the trance state, alpha state of mind before you doze off, that point of time you do this visualization. This is going to work wonders. And consistency is the key. You have to keep practicing it regularly. A lot of sportsmen, celebrities, they have found this really successful. Okay, if it works for one person, it would work for everyone. But the key is we have to understand and apply, right? That is the key here. So please practice visualization, and in between, in the day hours, when you are actually occupied with your work, and sometime when you stop focusing on what you're doing, and when you're in idle state, again, the old story will automatically play in your head. So you don't have to worry about it. That time, flip your thoughts. Flip your thoughts. Initially, don't try to resist or push hard or fight against it. The old memories, old thoughts, everything would come into your mind. Okay. Instead of being hard on yourself, gradually practice it. For the first time, you might feel resistant, like maybe for a week or two, but consistently, if you practice for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I'm telling, slightly things will shift. Things will shift for the better. Okay, and you will start feeling natural at one point of a time. And when you feel that naturalness, automatically that would get pushed out of your system, and you will see all positive experiences happening in your life. All wonderful experiences will happen, exactly what you dream about. Okay, let's move on. So now you have to embody through aligned action. This embodiment practice is very, very important. Embodying is embodiment practices. You actually becoming that version of whom you desire. Okay. So now, as we discussed earlier, your nervous system has to feel safe, okay, to act. When there is a fear, that amygdala hijacks prefrontal cortex, which we already discussed. Okay, so that should not happen. So for that to happen, you don't want that to happen. So we need to educate our brain and teach something new, that taking action is actually safe, because brain always want us to keep safe rather than we being successful. Brain does not want us to be successful, because that is not for that. It's not designed for that. It will always keep you safe. But we have to teach new things. That is the reason why we are rewiring the brain. All the old programming, which is not serving us, which is not resourceful, we are actually rewiring the brain by giving some instructions. And that is the reason why we are using this brain-based tools. Okay. So as I said earlier, repetition rewires the brain. Okay. So what happens? Myelination is actually your brain's way of making the repeated habits, easier. So brain will rewire, okay, through the process of myelination. And what will happen? You will actually see new habits. Earlier you felt restless, okay, that was your old habit, that was your old behavior. But out of repetition, now you have come up with a new habit. So you feel calm, you feel confident. That is your default behavior now. Earlier, your behavior was different, but now your behavior has shifted. Okay, so start taking small actions and make your brain believe that it is safe. Okay, you have to make the brain believe that it is safe. So these are the steps for the rewiring framework. All right. Okay.
Thank you so
Now,
much, Nithya. Do we open the floor for questions or?
no, I have few more minutes.
All
Few
right.
more minutes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So now we have discussed about different steps in rewiring framework. So what would happen if you apply this framework? Earlier, before applying this framework, you would have felt emotionally overloaded. Okay. You did not have time for yourself. And also there were a lot of self-doubt, right? If this would happen or if this would not happen. But now, after applying the Rewire framework for what exactly you really need, what happens? You will have mental clarity. And of course, you have very healthy boundaries. And now you become a leader. Your inner leadership is strengthened. So once, because now you know you are actually going to apply the brain-based tools, okay, and you will see shifts happening. All right. So please apply this, and this will definitely work. It's going to be like really very fruitful for you. And okay, see why this would work. We need to know that also, because as we discussed earlier, brain is always listening. Okay, so what you repeat, you become. Keep on doing that on a consistent basis. And we discussed the neuroplasticity concept, property of the brain to rewire, okay, the emotional loops, okay, or earlier neural habits, that emotional loops can be replaced now. Okay, so I think with that, I come to the conclusion. So please assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and persist on that consistently when you do. Because what you meditate on, you become. What you assume true about yourself, you become. Okay. So with that, I am coming to an end of the session, the Rewire framework. If you have
Thank you so
questions.
much. Thank you so much. Before we open the floor for questions, just a brief recap. Uh, Nithya ji talked about journaling to recognize the pattern, then how to examine the triggers. That's the probably the five W's and the one H is when, where, what, etc., including body cues. I found that very interesting that you look at triggers even in body cues, and then to witness your inner dialogue and how to shift the tone from that point, which is also another insightful observation. And I think interrupt and shift is very, very important. We hit the pause button between our thought and action, and I think that's a very insightful observation. Then rehearse the new identity. I think this is something many people fail to do. It's really an interesting concept. Some people say, fake it to make it, and it's been said that. So this is something which can we can practice over and over again. If you remember this bumper sticker from Lord of the Rings, what would Gandalf do? That's basically one of the things which people say. But what would a wise person do in this kind of situation? And of course, very good on that tip on waking up and going to sleep with what we want in our heads. And finally, embody through aligned action. One action a day which aligns with the vision you have. I think this is also a very important tip. Start big, it might fall, but if you start small, take those baby steps, I think you can get there. So,
Definitely.
questions, anybody can just put up your hand and yes, Sushida.
Uh, Good evening, ma'am. This was a very nice session and very helpful. Ma'am, I
Thank you.
have question in means I didn't know this much in details, but what I used to practice positive thinking, so I will imagine means positively all those things. So I am I have so my teachers also had so much faith in me, and I have taken one decision in the past where positively I cleared the interview, everything happened, but I could not make out some means it was very stressful for me. So my question is some means some how to identify capacity. Some people will say you need to know your capacity. So what is capacity? Because I means there is some confusion in my mind. If the if we could do what we perceive, then um means where means how to get to know that.
Okay. So Ruchita, thanks for the question. I would like to say that you are the creator of your reality, not others. what you claim true about yourself is what you're going to attract. I'm going to tell this strongly. No one can decide your future. You are deciding your future. Okay. Just strongly believe that everything is possible. And if you think there is any skill gap, of course, you can upgrade your skill. But definitely, you can reach to the point, what you really wish to, what you really desire. You can reach to that point. If others are telling that you don't have that capacity, don't believe that. Just deny the fact. Okay. You don't have to argue with anybody, but just believe in yourself that it is possible. As I told you, with all these mental rehearsal and your brain rewiring, you can reach where you want to be. Forget about the feedback. See, feedback is really important. When somebody gives you a constructive feedback, take that feedback. But if you think that feedback is not going to serve you, it's putting you down, you don't have to take it up. Let them talk whatever they want. You believe in yourself, have faith in yourself, and keep going. You will reach your goal.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else would like to have a question?
We have one question, ma'am. Please tell if it is useful for psychological patient, because in our in this forum we have caregivers of a person with mental illness. There are few patients as well, and everybody else, because this forum is open for everyone. So, what can you tell about whether it is useful for psychological patient?
Okay, see, this framework, if it is possible, they can complement it along with the therapy which they are taking already. Okay, so they don't have to be hard on themselves. Okay, if it is really possible, because the greatest weapon which anyone, any human being, any individual possesses in this world is their mind. So, with a very strong mind, you can achieve anything you want. But again, I'm telling you, don't have to be hard on yourself. Whatever therapy or whatever treatment you're taking, and if you're in medication, of course, you have to do that primarily. That is very important. And you can complement it with this. There is no hard and fast rule that you should not do these practices. If it is possible for you, just you're going to mental rehearse, right? Morning, you're going to wake up and see yourself in a healthy state, how you want to be, right? If you're sick or if you're ill today, how exactly you want to be, you know imagine that in your mind. Because as we discussed, brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality. What you imagine true about yourself and what you believe about yourself and the story which you tell about yourself is what you are going to see in the three dimension. So of course, if anybody is taking on therapy, medication, if it's possible for you, you can definitely work on it. Just you're going to visualize and believe something positive about yourself. That's all.
Okay. Ma'am, second question is Patricia is asking, ma'am, could you suggest some good insight books where I can gain more knowledge? Could be beneficial in counseling practice or on the current topic or psychological perspective. Your personal recommendation.
Okay, is it for psychological they're asking?
Looks like it.
One moment, let me see. See, I can. Okay, so for psychological, I don't read much of psychological books. I read more about, brain, and also on goal manifestation, brain-based tool, and pattern rewiring, all those things. If you want, I will suggest you one book, Break the Habit of Being Yourself, because our habit is what we experience. The habit is what we see success, right? And if you want to change your or break your habit and come out of your old self, and if you want to be somebody new, you have to break your old habit, right? If you break the habit of being yourself, what happens? you're exactly going to manifest what you really need. That's all. So break the habit of being yourself. Everybody can read. I'm just recommending that. That is by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Break the habit of being yourself is by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Read that book. That has inspired me a lot and it has changed my life a lot.
Interestingly, it brings to mind Nithya. Uh, this is a common quotation, and be the change you want to see. I mean, that's
Exactly.
yes.
Everything is possible for everyone, Ganesh, provided we believe it. That's all.
Mm. So there's another question, related question. Sometimes patients, persons with lived experience, tend to have larger than life goals, huge goals. I mean, they don't taper it off. They have goals like to the extent they want to change the world. And how do we get that to be realistic in the context of living an average life, a normal life, whatever you choose to call it?
Okay. As I said, you can have n number of goals. Okay. You can have any goals, but you have to believe that it is possible for you.
Right.
Only when you believe that it is possible for you, you attain it.
Okay.
Provided you take care of few things like, as I said, the mental diet, your positive self-talk, right? And also visualization, and also giving right instructions to the brain, like
Mhm.
programming your mind. So
Mhm.
of course, see, when the goal, you see the goal as unrealistic, you will drop it off. Having multiple goals is absolutely fine. And there are people who has manifested their dream life and had multiple goals in their life. Okay, so what, at one point of a time, if that goal seems unrealistic, obviously you will switch it. Because again,
Mhm.
I'm telling what you believe to be true, 100% that's going to work out in your life.
Mhm.
And you have to rewire it. Only then that gets
Mhm.
deeply coded into your brain and it will manifest. That will get pushed out. See, okay, somebody are asking my contact details. I will be sharing the presentation to Ganesh and Manjari after this meeting. So you will have my personal details. Okay, even if you want to dive deeper in the sessions, you can contact me. So that you will have my social media and number. I will share it with them. You will get it.
Nitya ji,
This is
it was
Ganesh,
very nice discussions and nice talk, elaborative.
Thank you.
I was just wanted to know when you are doing something, maybe of your very nearers and dearers, they oppose and sometimes they will talk in front of you very nice, but at the back of you criticize critically, and that gives me disturbance. So, and that disturbance remains because when they are very nearer to me, like so my relatives or something. So, how to overcome that?
Okay. See, what you resist persist. Okay. So first accept it. First accept it. Okay. And when you accept it, what happens? Automatically things will dissolve. Okay. Until you resist something that keeps showing up, that keeps showing up in your life on and on and on. So first accept. And then when your nervous system is calm and regulated, all right, your emotions are regulated. I talked about the mirror neurons earlier. People around you also will be calm. They will reflect that same behavior. Suppose if you're calm and regulated, people around you will be calm. That is because of something called mirror neurons in your brain. That's brain cells. Okay, I smile at you, and when you see me smiling at you, what you do? You automatically smile back, right? That is because of mirror neurons. And keep yourself calm and regulated. For that, you can do the breathing practices. Okay, you can do meditations and also try to assume and persist in how exactly you wanted people around you to show up. That is the embodiment action, the final step. Final step. Try to act as if everything is fine with you, and then cheat your brain, like what Ganesh said, fake it to make it, right? Keep your nervous system calm. Things will definitely shift. Believe that it is possible, and you don't have to be triggered. Now, you're finding, right? You say that people around you are triggering you. So try to work on yourself and things will automatically shift over time. You have to believe it.
Hello, madam.
Srinivasa Murthy, you have your hand raised. I'm sorry.
Hello. May I speak? Myself, Kedar.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
go
Hello.
on.
Okay.
Madam, I want to know how to break old habits and replace with new habits. Could you please explain again?
That's what we spoke. The rewire framework is completely about, breaking that old habit and bringing in the new habit. See, you know that your habits will exactly trigger the action. Okay, based on your habit, you will take action. Okay, so where it all starts with the thoughts. It all starts here. Okay, let's say before taking an action, you have an emotion. You might feel angry. If you're feeling angry, what kind of action will you take at that moment? Do you think that you will take the right action? No, right? You might not take the right action. So there you have to change your habit. For that, you have to rewire the brain. That's all. So find, identify the pattern and identify the trigger. Okay, and using brain-based tools like mental rehearsal, cognitive reframing, which I explained to you in this, work on yourself and automatically your habit will change. Your old habit will be broken and you will build a new habit. And once you change your habit, exactly you would achieve your goal.
Okay.
Okay.
Next,
Thank you, ma'am.
next question, Srinivas Murthy ji.
Okay, please go
Please,
ahead.
yes. You have your hand raised, sir, Srinivas Murthy. Please unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, I'm not making a question. I'm making a comment. I'm a psychiatrist. I am a retired professor of psychiatry. The method that has been suggested is largely applicable to 8 out of 10 people in the community. But there are 4 groups of people where it may not be appropriate. For that reason, I am bringing it up because this is a group of caregivers and people with mental illness. First is if you have had a child trauma, the structuring of the brain is altered and it requires a different type of a approach. Second thing is people going through developmental phases, especially adolescents, tend to have poorer control over their brain. Thirdly, if you are going through a severe stress, then you have a problem. And like, for example, earthquake and disaster or severe illness, grief. Fourthly, if you have a proper mental illness, then again, you will have problems. Otherwise, what has been suggested is totally practicable and useful. In these situations, greater degree of support is required and technical competence is required. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Doctor,
Srinivasa
thank
Murthy,
you.
sir. Thank you so much because this is definitely a value-added point. As I said earlier, see, this is for caregivers, volunteers, and people who are recovering from mental illness. It's just going to be complement. And apart from medication, and therapy, what they are undergoing, this can complement them. But they don't have to be really hard on themselves, but for volunteers and rest of the audience, that would definitely work. So this is really a key point, and thank you, sir, for bringing this.
We have next question as
Sri Priya's hand is up.
Sri Priya.
Yes. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much, ma'am. Excellent session. The way you kind of mapped the emotional insight to brain insight and also offered a brain-based tool. I felt it's going to be extremely useful to me.
Thank you, Sri Priya.
Yeah, and the one line that you said, persist on your new story, that was really captivating for me. The hardest part is getting into that repetitive mode, right? We learn so much, we know so much, but it still ultimately boils down to action on daily basis. And for some reason, that simple action seems to be the hardest part. And hopefully with your advice here, we will be able to get into that mode. Any, you already mentioned meditation and breathing exercises. Any such hacks that you use, ma'am, to be in that repetitive mode? To like anything else that you can offer us?
See, the brain actually gets back to the default mode. Even when we think that we wanted to rewire the brain, and of course we wanted to, it gets back to the default mode. So that time you have to be aware. You have to be mindful. If you think
Mm,
that again the old thoughts are coming up, catch the thoughts at that point
okay.
of time, and then you can reframe it. You can switch it to something which you really need it. Let's say
Mm,
you feel that you want to be confident, but currently if you're not in that state, and again if you are imagining or visualizing something like some old story or some old experience, that point of a time, no, this is not my reality. I am a confident person, right?
mm,
Again, you're reframing. Internally you're
yeah.
reframing, okay? And also you can set reminders in your phone, so that
Mm,
morning, afternoon, you stay at top of your thoughts, which is vital. Staying at top of
yeah.
your thoughts is going to create tomorrow's reality. In simple,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, very
Being
straightforward.
mindful seems to be kind of a key ingredient.
That's
So,
actually, you're catching it.
yeah.
Mindful.
Mm, yeah. Just one quick question, ma'am. Like, so far my brain kind of knew me as somewhat indisciplined, emotional, and all that, right? From today onwards, if I start with the story, I'm a confident person. Wouldn't a part of brain know that I'm just lying, like some kind of an imposter syndrome? Like,
That is
how
resistance.
does it? Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
is resistance. See, that's
Okay.
okay. That's okay. It's
Mm,
initially you might feel resistant. I have come across that. I have come
mm,
across that. I did not believe, but don't have to be hard. Don't beat yourself. Just to do
mm.
it gradually. Okay. So that
Okay.
is the
Okay.
reason why I am asking you to do the mental rehearsal before going to bed and immediately after waking, because you will be very receptive. Subconscious mind will be
Mm,
receptive at that point of a time. Your brain absorbs it. It easily
okay.
goes into
Okay.
your subconscious mind. Practice it. You know,
Okay.
persistence is the key, Sri Priya. You will make it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
We have one more question, ma'am. Due to anxiety, if there are negative thoughts which come, then how to avoid them?
Okay, due to anxiety. See, again, if you have negative thoughts, reframing. You can catch the why is that coming up. Try to identify the trigger. Okay. And just to flip or reframe the negative thoughts to something positive. Okay. Obviously, when you're reframing it, switching it, over a period of time, you will not feel anxious because already you have rewired your brain. So the anxiousness has to disappear.
Okay. Well, I think I understand this thing is simple but not easy. That's something which I think we also talk about in our self-help group. Some things seem simple, but they're not easy. And also a key thing you said about using technology. I think it's important to remind ourselves every now and then and pull ourselves back on track with something we do daily basis. And we use our phone. Everybody has a smartphone. Okay. So, and yeah, I mean, the other thing is that once you said something about accepting and then changing. I think that is a very key point, which is basically if you are resisting, and that kind of multiplies once you accept and start acting on it. I think that was a very good point. So we're almost at the end of the session. Oh, and any last questions, or can we just?
Can I come in again for a little few minutes?
Yeah, just
Very
we have you.
often people ask this question, how do I know that I need something more than self-help? And I totally agree with you with the presentation that self-help is the thing which is applicable to almost everybody. There are four things, again, which will tell you when you need to go to a professional rather than just do self-help. Number one, if you are having symptoms without any understandable circumstance around you. Number two, if the circumstance is there, but your reaction is grossly exaggerated. Number three, it starts interfering with your functioning.
Functioning, yes.
If you are functioning, like you are not able to study, you are not able to do the cooking, or you are not able to go to work, or you are not able to be with people, Fourthly, if you are having symptoms like suspiciousness or suicidal ideas, then you know that this is beyond. So look around,
Yes.
see there is a reason. For example, if there has been a death, any amount of severe distress is understandable, acceptable, and it will course of time it will get better. But if you are feeling very depressed without any reason, everyone says that there's nothing reason, or there is something, you lost 100
That
rupees
is
and
true.
you
That
feel
is
as though
true.
you have lost 1 lakh rupees, you know or it started interfering with your work. This is a very simple tool, and if these things are there, then you need more than simple self-help. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Actually, this is something which is a prerequisite to anyone getting well. The symptoms should not be florid. And I think in a florid condition, nobody will listen to you or even understand what the concepts. So, in a self-help group also, we have to ensure that the person is not extremely florid in their symptoms. Thank you so much for that, doctor. And Nithya, any closing words, any advice for us to take off?
I intend that this session would be, useful for all of you. And also, there were some brain-based tools which we have discussed. So please apply it across, and definitely this will be fruitful. But persistence is the key. Again, I'm telling you, you have to persist, and repetition rewires your brain. Keep on doing. Don't give up if you're not able to reach your goals. Definitely, you will meet up your goals. And if you need more support, if you want to dive deeper, you can always connect with me. I'm going to leave my details to Ganesh and Manjari. Thank you so
Thank,
much, everyone, for joining the session.
thank you for being with us, doctor. Thank you, everyone. Uh, Hope we'll catch up next first Wednesday of the following month, as we as usually do. Well, good on you, and hope you achieve what you set out to achieve. Just wish you all the very best, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Just a quick reminder, you can type Eklavya Foundation for Mental Health on YouTube and you will get our channel. This video will be uploaded shortly after a few days. So you can listen to Nitheya ma'am, and whatever you have missed, you can take notes of that and you can rewatch this entire thing. Thank you, everyone. If you subscribe, you will get the update as soon as the video is uploaded. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manjiri. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye bye.
Bye.
That's it.